band honors America with playing our national anthem and continues standing for the Ironton High School alma mater.
It's just a short drive up and down Route 52, and you can connect with two of the most storied football programs in the state of Ohio. You look either direction, you see orange and black, and that's what we see tonight as we gather here at Ironton Tanks Memorial Stadium, Bob Lutz Field, for the opening game of the 2015 season, featuring those two storied schools, the Ironton Fighting Tigers, hosting the Wheelersburg Pirates. Hello, everyone. Tony Lavender on the scene with the Zone Sports team, set to bring you tonight's ball game between two teams starting fresh for 2015. Ironton coming off a 7-3 playoff year. Wheelersburg off an 11-2 playoff year. They did face each other both in the regular season and the playoffs last year, but a lot of things have changed. One of the things that hasn't is that the schools like hard-hitting football, and we'll be back to talk about who's going to be doing the hitting and more when we return to Ironton right after this.
Many people know that at the battery terminal in Ashland, Kentucky, we sell automotive, marine, and recreational vehicle batteries. But did you know we also sell
Power Wheels, motorcycle, and wheelchair batteries?
We also sell batteries for garage door openers, watches, cordless phones, and cell phones.
The Battery Terminal is a family-owned business located in Ashland, Kentucky. We've been in business for 28 years, and we are here to service your battery needs.
You've always been able to recognize value. The decisions you make today put you on the road to where you want to be tomorrow. Throughout your life, you've planned and made smart decisions. You deserve State Auto's Prime of Life to protect your home and autos. Find out more about Prime of Life and other State Auto products.
Call Barrett Murphy, your local State Auto Insurance Agency.
Welcome back, everyone, to Ironton High School. Tony Lavender along with the Zone Sports team. In front of you, you see the Ironton High School $1 Million Marching Band performing before tonight's game. Tonight's game pitting the Tigers of Coach Mark Vass, who's in his fourth season, 18-14 at the helm, coming off a 7-3 playoff season last year, against the Pirates of Coach Rob Woodward. He's in his seventh season at the helm of the Orange and Black from Wheelersburg. They were 11-2 last year and made a nice deep run into the playoffs. Rob Woodward is 57-14 during his tenure at Wheelersburg High School. So let's take a look at exactly who's going to be playing. And first of all, we'll start off with the Ironton offense. Across the front line for Ironton, got some good-sized lads on there. The tackles, Tyler Webb, 6'5", 270-pound junior, and Hayden Robinson, 6'2", 295-pound senior. At the guards, it'll be Brock Midkiff Jones, and he's 5'10", 260 pounds and a senior. And Ronnie Artis, 5'10", 218 pounds and a senior. At the center, it's Levi Langdon, 6'4", 295-pound junior. At the ends for Coach Mark Vass, it'll be Travis Carey, 6'4", 165-pound senior, and a senior at the other end as well, Lucas Campbell. He's 65 and tips the scale at 200 pounds. In the backfield, calling the signals for the Fighting Tigers, it'll be 5'11", 160-pound junior Jake Ising. At the fullback spot, a name we have seen for a few years here coming out of the backfield at Ironton, that's Desmond Young. Des is 6'1", 214 pounds, and he is a senior. At the halfback spots, the running backs, it'll be Andrew Barker, 6 foot tall, 180 pounds, and a senior. And at the other running back spot, it'll be D'Angelo Palladino, 5'10", 180 pounds, and he is a senior. Clay Willis will be doing the extra points and field goal chores for the Ironton Fighting Tigers. We'll be back to give you the starting lineup for the Wheelersburg Pirates right after this.
Go nuts for donuts at Krispy Kreme across from Portsmouth High School.
Welcome back to Ironton High School. This is Bob Lutz Field at Tanks Memorial Stadium, and a sea of orange and black looking at us because both clubs in the orange and black mode, the Tigers and the Pirates. And speaking of the Pirates, let's take a look at the starting defensive lineup for the Pirates this evening. Across the front, the defensive ends, 6'5", 200-pound senior, or 185-pound senior, that's Austin Irvin. The other defensive end, 6 foot tall, 180-pound senior, that's Gabe Whitley. The defensive tackles are Eli Whitley, 6 foot tall, 225 pounds, and Sam Hall, 6'4", 285 pounds. They are both seniors. The linebacking core, a pair of lads. We have Xander Carmichael, 6'2", 200 pounds, and a sophomore. And the other linebacker is Clint Hatfield, 6'1", 185, and he is a junior. The cornerbacks, Wyatt Henderson, 6'2", 165-pound senior, and Chasen Burke, 6'2", 180-pound senior. Then at the safeties, it'll be Kyle Davis, 6 foot tall, 175-pound senior, and the other safety is senior Jake Darnell, 6 foot tall, 175 pounds, and a senior. Kicking chores for Wheelersburg will be handled by Daylor Lewis, 5'7", 170-pound junior, who has quite an educated toe on him. And the punter will be Chasen Burke. So there you have the starting defensive lineup for Wheelersburg, the starting offensive lineup for Ironton. The reason I tell you that is because we'll be seeing the opposite when the field gets going after the opening kickoff. Wheelersburg won the toss and elected to receive. We'll be back to tell you more when we return to Bob Lutz Field right after this.
At Desco, we believe loans to small businesses result in stronger communities. We believe the experience and ability to make local decisions awards you the home field advantage. We believe quick decisions and straightforward answers are what you need to get started. At Desco, we have terms to fit your business. Desco Federal Credit Union. We make business loans.
Welcome back to Bob Lutz Field at Tanks Memorial Stadium. Zone Sports on the scene. tonight's game between Wheelersburg and Ironton. Wheelersburg will be in the white uniforms with the black numerals and the orange trim. Ironton in the black football shirts with white numerals. They'll have orange headgear and white football pants. Our officials for tonight's ball game from the River Cities chapter of officials. The referee is Mark Michael. The umpire is Jamie Cook. The linesman is John Barker. The line judge is Mike Lemons, and the back judge is Tyler Michael. Those are our officials for tonight, willing to help out the young people of the state of Ohio. And we're just about ready to go. We've got 1 minute and 24 seconds on the clock before the opening kickoff for the second half. So we're getting pretty well set to get things going. And before we have that opening kickoff, we'll take one more break, and we'll be right back with the opening kickoff right after this.
Infinity Home Healthcare is a family-owned group of caring professionals committed to the overall well-being of our patients. We specialize in letting your loved ones live a normal life at home. Call us today and let our family take care of your family.
Well, we're about set to go here as we're down into the closing seconds. High school football on the zone. And we're pleased to have as our game sponsor, as always, King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio, right there on Scioto Trail at Scioto Trail and Kinney's Lane in Portsmouth. Wheelersburg will be to your left in the white uniforms. Ironton will be to your right in the black jerseys and the white football pants. Wheelersburg again will receive, and they're dropping back as we are set to go. Set to kick for Ironton before this game gets underway. It's going to be kicked off for Ironton by Des Young, and he's going to approach the ball as we are about set to go for the 2015 football season. And there you see it. It's a line drive that's going to be picked up about the 27-yard line. Carried forward with a big opening and getting up through there and doing a good job for Wheelersburg in there. It looks like Jordan Howard on the return, and that gets Wheelersburg some great field position. And they're saying there was Jake Darnell. They both end in one, so we'll see what happens there as we are just underway. As Wheelersburg will get the ball with 11:53 to go here in this first quarter of play, and they will have the ball on their own 46-yard line. High school football on the zone sent your way by Dan Cassidy and the folks at Barron and Murphin Insurance, by the Krispy Kreme Donut Shop, and by Desco Federal Credit Union. Pirates hit in the backfield, in fast and hard there for Ironton was Desmond Young, the 6'1", 214-pound senior, showed up on the scene practically before the thing developed, as that play did develop a little slowly. And so that'll make it a second down, a loss of 3 on the play. It'll be 2nd and 13 for the Wheelersburg Pirates. And so the Pirates come up. They'll send 2 men out to the left-hand side, and way out here to the right-hand side comes Tanner Bivens on the side closest to us. They drop a man back into the slot, and they head off to the left side, and Ironton is right there to greet Jordan Howard. Howard picks up maybe 1 if he's lucky, and that's going to make it a third down now and long with 12 yards to go. Just underway here. We played 1 minute of this football game at Bob Lutz Field. Great field. The artificial turf giving some good secure footing, and, of course, all-weather protection if the weather turns bad. Doesn't look like it's going to tonight. Dropping back to throw goes Davis, and he's looking for his man, and it is snagged on the 42-yard line of Ironton. Grabbing it in there was Chasen Burke. Burke, a 6'2", 180-pound senior, picks up the first down of the season and the first down of our ball game here. And they have advanced into Ironton territory. 42-yard line of the Fighting Tigers. Kyle Davis sets his ball club, puts a man in motion. That's Howard, and a little flare pass out to him. He's got a good block and turns the corner. No flag on that, and he gets down inside the 40, down to about the 35 or 4. Let's see if they mark him out a little bit sooner than that. Yes, they're going to say he got down to about the 38-yard line. So that'll make it second down and 6 to go as we have 10.5 minutes to play here in the first half at Ironton High School. High school football on the zone. Wheelersburg sets him up. And the fake and the keep by Davis, and Davis gets down to about the 35-yard line before he's stopped. And Des Young on the stop. And that's going to make it a third down and short with 3 to go as the Pirates will set up as they face the setting sun. Kyle Davis, 6 foot tall, 175-pound senior, calls it. Heading up through heavy traffic in there. And getting enough what looks to be for the first down is going to be Jordan Howard. The bottom of the pile there. Looks like Barker and Cast of Thousands jumping in on that. Barker, 6 foot tall, 180 pounds and a senior. So Wheelersburg will have a first down on the Ironton 31-yard line. Just under 10 minutes to play here in the first quarter. High school football on the zone is sent your way by Bob and Floyd's Tire Service, by Jason Bentley Financial Services, by Oak Tree Construction. Thanks to our sponsors and thanks to you for being there. And they're going to go to the right side this time, and a nice bit of blocking as they go off tackle. Getting down in there and getting right with them once again is Jordan Howard. Coming over to meet him, several of the Ironton Tigers, including Jake Isaac. So the Pirates now, with a second down and 2 to go, we'll have Davis drop back. He's standing about 5 yards deep from the center. Puts a man in motion. That's Burke, and we get a whistle, 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 whistle. Ironton calls timeout. They didn't like what they saw. So there's timeout on the field with 9:03 to play. No score. Back after this.
King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio is working to provide health care that raises the bar with experienced physicians you know, like cardiologist Sri Valluri, one of the region's most respected heart experts. Our advanced diagnostic equipment and passionate attention to detail allows every possibility to be explored in order to find the best treatments available. King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio is a team dedicated to world-class health care for Portsmouth.
Welcome back. We're at Ironton High School. This is Ironton Tank Stadium, Bob Lutz Field. And the situation is this. We are just under 10 minutes to go here in the first quarter of play, the first football game of the season. The Wheelersburg Pirates are in the white uniforms, Ironton in the black jerseys, and Wheelersburg has the ball, second down and 2 on the Ironton 23. Kyle Davis is the quarterback. He stands on the Ironton 29, moves everybody over to the right and sends a man in motion that direction. The motion man gets it. That's Howard, and Howard inside the 20 down to about the 17. Tackled in there by several Ironton Tigers, including Tanner Wilson. And so Wheelersburg picks up yet another first down. They started this drive on their own 46. Now advanced down inside the 20-yard line. Again, Burke goes in motion as they give it to him, and he's trying to get outside, and he's met by a host of Ironton Tigers. Amongst the first on the scene over there was Travis Carey, the 6'4", 165-pound senior. So 8:33 to play here in the first quarter. No score yet. Wheelersburg on the first offensive drive of the night. Ironton has not had their mitts on the ball yet. Again, man in motion and kept. Davis heads off, tackle to the left, and that didn't look like it was supposed to be that way. That looked like that was supposed to be something else.
On the tackle, flags on the play.
And we got a flag here and there, and it's going to be against Wheelersburg.
False start against Wheelersburg.
False start against the Pirates, so that'll cost them 5. And so that'll push them back. They'll get second down over again. As we look at the sticks, it's going to be second down and about 12 or 13 Could even call it, 13. We'll call it 13. As the Pirates still in their huddle. And as they come out, ball's marked ready. Davis, still the quarterback, puts a man in motion to the outside. Looks that way and has a man down by the goal line. That's Chasen Burke, who falls down on the 1 yard line for a Wheelersburg first down and first and goal.
First and goal, the ball on the 1.
Davis faked that look to Howard on the little flare that they ran a little while ago. They ran it to the other side, and this time, instead, he got down to the 1 as he went to Burke, coming into the heavy traffic in the middle. That ball went from about the 21 to the 1, so about a 20-yard. There's a big leap. Up and over as Howard takes it in. And so with 7:39 on the clock in the first quarter, Wheelersburg draws first blood on a 1 yard run. Started the drive on their own 46, so a 54-yard drive. Trent Williams, our super stat guy, will give us the number of plays here directly. 11, thank you very much, sir. And Wheelersburg, with Daler Lewis's foot, now makes it 7-0. So as we come back up the field with 7:39 to go, Wheelersburg 7, Ironton ready for their first try. We'll be back after this.
A night of family entertainment awaits you at the Portsmouth Cinema 8. We're always improving. More games, better movies, delicious concessions, online ticket sales, and updates on Facebook as well. To make your experience better, we now have all 8 theaters in digital DLP with Dolby Surround Sound. Plus, you can watch your next digital 3D movie here. All the entertainment you need at Portsmouth Cinema 8. Movies will never be the same again.
Welcome back to Ironton High School. The Wheelersburg Pirates have just scored on the first drive of the game. They put together 3 first downs and a 54-yard drive. Took 11 plays and taking it across Jordan Howard, the 5'9", 185-pound senior, from the 1 yard line. And as a result, Wheelersburg leads 7-0. You're watching high school football on the Zone, sent your way by Portsmouth Tennis Club, by Pro Pest Control, and by Rallies. Thanks to our sponsors and thanks to you for being there. These two teams met twice last year. We'll talk more of that later. Daler Lewis, who just kicked the extra point, will tee it up to kick off for the first time this season for the Wheelersburg Pirates. Back for Ironton, they've got 3 men deep. And as Lewis gets ready to approach the ball, we are set. And the ball is high and long and is going to be picked up on about the 5 yard line and coming out and off to the right side and heading over there with some speed and some acceleration goes D'Angelo Palladino, who really turned the burners on, and that kid has got some speed, so you have to watch him. If he gets an opening, he'll turn it into a giant hole. So he gets out to the 39-yard line. That's where Ironton will take over on their own 39-yard line and start their first drive of the 2015 season. The way things look for Ironton on offense, we went over that a little bit earlier for you. Jake Isaac is the quarterback. Young, Barker, and Palladino in the backfield, and a big hole made by the Ironton line. And up through there, D'Angelo Palladino gets across the 45 out to the 47 and quickly picks up an Ironton first down. So the first down of the season for the Tigers. And as they come up, they are set with 7:02 to go here in the first quarter of play, and they give it to the second man through, and 22, Palladino, off the right side, And he picks up some more bodacious yardage. So thus far, a couple of plays, Ironton has knocked out a couple of first downs. They are not messing around with these pesky little second and third down plays. They're bopping right out there and just chunking down a couple of first downs. You're watching high school football on the Zone, sent your way by Infinity Home Healthcare, Portsmouth Cinema 8, and all the Zone Country locations of the Portsmouth Public Library. Full house backfield. Not unusual. Give to the first man, the fullback up through there. And Des Young gets up to about the 45 and down maybe to the 44, a little shade inside the 45, as Ironton, working inside Wheelersburg territory, will have their first second down play of the evening. They've run 3 plays in a drive that started on their own 39. And they've had the ball for about a minute here now. And again, a little straight ahead dive play. That one's going to Palladino again. Palladino runs like a much bigger guy, 5'10", 180-pound senior. And he sort of runs through there like he's about the size of a tank. So with 5:44 to go, it'll be a third down play for Ironton's Fighting Tigers. Ball sitting on the Wheelersburg 43. Wheelersburg ahead, 7-0, as you see on your scoreboard there. And again, the full house backfield. Jake Isaac is the quarterback. He calls and he's going to give it to Palladino again. Palladino is loose. He makes a nice cut to his left to try to get himself away from the defender that was over there, and was unable to quite keep going after he made the cut, but he did leave the defender sort of off balance, which gave him a few more yards on that one. Nice running, and that's the third first down of this drive for the Ironton Fighting Tigers. 5 minutes to play in the first quarter. Ironton looking for their first score of the 2015 season. Same formation. And this time they're going to go the other way with Barker. Barker is going to wind his way down inside about the 30, maybe 29-yard line. Yep, they're going to mark him down about the 28. So he's going to pick up about 5 or 6 right there. That'll make it second down and about midway to go. Ironton working the opposite direction from the sun, which is getting ready to hide behind the trees over here. Traditional opener for both of these teams. They play each other home and home every year. And we have opened with it as well. They spin, and Barker is going to be met at the line. First hit in there for Wheelersburg. A good hard hit in there by Colin Ahad. Ahad is also, I think, the way Colin pronounces it, so I'll try to catch that up with that and check with Coach Woodward on that. I didn't do my homework there, Colin. I'm sorry. 3:54 to go. Ball dead on the 30-yard line. It'll be a third down, a loss of a smidge on that, so third and about 7. As Ironton comes up and shows a little different look this time, they got a wingman to the right and the back's in an eye. And they're going to go to the tailback. Head off that way. It's going to be Palladino, and he's still on his feet, but he's not going to get much. He's going to run a lot of distance wide, but not very far north and south. And as a result, he's run out of bounds short of the first down. It'll be fourth down, 3 to go, but the ball is on the Wheelersburg end of the field, sitting on the 27-yard line. Ironton with some explosive runners. 3 minutes even to go here in the first quarter. Ironton comes out, and they're going to be in the full house formation. Need 3, pitch to the tailback, and he stopped. Over there really hard for Wheelersburg. Really hard. Coming in hard was Xander Carmichael. Carmichael stopped Palladino on that side as he tried to move it outside, and a great stop for Wheelersburg's defense. as they stop them on downs in the Wheelersburg front yard. So with 2:42 to go, Wheelersburg will take over, and the ball is going to be sitting on their own 28-yard line. Wheelersburg ahead. We're in the first quarter of play. You're watching high school football. Sent your way on the zone by Osco Industries, Smith's Drugs all over Zone Country, and the Goodwin Group. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there as well. Going to try that right offensive side again, and moving forward and getting a little bit of room was Jordan Howard. Howard is having a pretty good night to begin with. Wheelersburg lost several of their starters, as did Ironton. These two teams met twice last year. This time we've got a whistle and a timeout by Wheelersburg. Wheelersburg will call timeout, and with first quarter score of 7-0, we'll be right back right after this.
The library isn't just a source for books anymore. We are activities. We are local history and genealogy. We are entertainment. We are DVDs and books on CD. We are online. We are education. We are mobile. We are everywhere. We are still books and reading. We are here for our community. We are here for you.
We are the Portsmouth Public Library.
I love the library.
Welcome back to Bob Lutz Field at Tanks Memorial Stadium. Here's the situation. Wheelersburg has the ball. Second down, 2 to go. Ball is on their own 36-yard line. They lead 7-0 as we are in the first quarter of play with 2 minutes and 16 seconds to go in this first stanza of our ball game tonight. Tonight's game is sent your way by Gaddy's Pizza. Also brought to you by Ryan Salmon's State Farm and by the Ohio Automotive Group. Thanks to them and thanks to you for being there. We're set to go now on a 2nd and 2. Wheelersburg in the white, Ironton in the black jerseys. Davis is the quarterback. He sets, calls, looks, and fires downfield. Got a man, and it's broken up. A good defensive play down there for Ironton by Travis Carey. Down around the 45-yard line of Ironton. And so it'll be 3rd down now, and about 2 yards to go. So that will stop the clock with 2:11 to go here in the first quarter to play. And Wheelersburg will come out needing to pick up about 6 feet. As they set, Davis back there all by his lonesome. Puts a man in motion and gives it to him. That's Howard. Howard has big blocking. He gets through. He's hit and goes about another 5 yards. Tackles on the play that time by Travis Carey and also by Eli Willis for Ironton. So it's a first down for Wheelersburg, as they are now just a shade shy of midfield. But now they're across midfield. But boy, there was a big hit. Andrew Barker making the primary hit on that, and that didn't go very far at all. Pick up a maybe 1 or 2. As the ball sits inside the Ironton end of the field. Ball on the 48 of the Fighting Tigers. Excellent crowd here, as both these schools always bring plenty. And they started gathering quite early here tonight for pregame festivities, game playing, chewing the fat about the football season. We've got doubles on either side now and one man behind the quarterback who sets himself over a little bit. And now we got a flag. And somebody says offside or something. We're getting a little hands on hips deal. Offside, encroachment by the defensive line. And that's going to take the ball 5 yards downfield, and Wheelersburg's going to pick up another first down. Started this drive on their own 28 at 2:42, so they've had the ball about 1 minute and 32 seconds on this drive. We're still in the first quarter of play. Same formation, doubles either side. Davis is going to give to the man behind him, and he is hit hard. Howard is just banged really hard in there. And one of the first on the scene there was Tyler Webb. There were others. And no gain on that. That'll make it third down for the Pirates. And so they go quickly. You remember last year they did not use the huddle a whole lot. There's a quick toss. Got a man on the right. That's Burke. Burke takes a step and gets down to about the 35-yard line. And that's going to be complete from Davis to Burke, and it's going to be a first down for the Wheelersburg Pirates. Wheelersburg again going up. Quick set. Davis again with Howard right behind him. A little bit of conversation. They said Howard just a wee smidge. Oh, there's a big charge across the line. Somebody fired Des Young's afterburners, and he came moving through there. So there's another 5. So Wheelersburg has picked up 10 without having to run a play on this particular last couple. So the ball now sitting with its nose about a foot inside the 30-yard line of the Tigers. We're down to about 28 seconds to go in quarter number 1. Wheelersburg ahead 7-0. High school football on the zone sent your way by Portsmouth Cinema 8, by Shawnee State University, and by Strieber Mortgage. Little toss on the left, almost mishandled, but grabbed in and saved, but that killed any extra time they have, so Chasen Burke gets stopped by Palladino, and not much developing on that one, as that'll bring to an end the first quarter of play here. We are 1/4 of the way through the first game of the season, and the score, the Wheelersburg Pirates 7 and the Ironton Fighting Tigers 0. Back with quarter number 2 right after this. To Ironton High School. There you see the Ironton Fighting Tigers. Mark Vass, their head coach. He's in his 4th season, 18-14. Got the club to the playoffs last year. And on their roster this year, they have 16 seniors out of the 42 that dressed this evening. So a pretty good senior class. And they should be able to replace those. They have 15 freshmen coming up. The smallest class Ironton has is a sophomore class, but that may change and develop as well. Right now, we're worried about the 2015 season. Wheelersburg, 2nd and 5, ball on the 30-yard line. Pirates in the white, Ironton in the black jerseys. Kyle Davis, the quarterback, puts in motion Howard, fakes to Howard and keeps. He heads down across the 30 to about the 28. First guy to hit him over there was likely Des Young. And so a pickup of a few should take it down to about 3rd down and maybe a couple. As the Pirates quickly come up, they've got one man out on the right as a flanker. They put him in motion, and they're going to give it to him.
Looks like 3rd and 1, Red, or 4th and 1.
Chasen Burke gets down to about the 25-yard line. Barker on the tackle, and it's close enough that we're going to take a look at it with the sticks out on the field. While they do that, we want to remind you that tonight's game is sent your way by Sunspot Tanning, by the Salvation Army, by the Battery Terminal, by the UPS Store, and by the Wheelersburg Cinema. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there. Happy to be on the scene here with high school sports. That would be the zone, and they are short about a fist width. So it'll be 4th down, and we'll have to call it 1 to go. But, buddy, it's not very far. One sneeze while they were placing the ball, and that would have been a different result. So they set the ball. Part of it is sitting on the 25. Part of it's in front of it. Part of it's in back of it. And it's a big fourth down play for the Pirates, who are ahead 7-0. Ironton looking for a nice stop here to see what they can do to change Mo in their direction. And as the Pirates come up, there'll be two running backs, and everybody's in tight. Davis gives straight ahead dive play. Looks like enough as they give it off in there for Wheelersburg to Xander Carmichael. And it looks like he picked up enough. And that's another Wheelersburg first down. They started this drive at 2:42 of the first on their own 28-yard line. They are now down inside the 25, and they got just about a foot or two extra that they needed there, and that was about the size of it. Everybody was playing tight. Burke goes in motion. Davis looks. He's pressed. He's got a man downfield, but he overthrows him. He was looking downfield there and trying to find his man down there, Tanner Bivens. Tanner Bivens was down there, but he was well covered down there by Ironton. Included amongst them was Travis Carey, the corner. And so with 10:53 to go here in this second quarter to play, Wheelersburg will face a second down and 10 to go.
I was going to tell you that earlier, but I didn't have a headset.
They send two players wide to the left and two players wide to the right. They offset Howard, and they give it to Howard, and he moves forward, and he's met by some tough opposition in there. Gets down to about the 20. At the bottom of things over there was Barker, and Tyler Webb was also in on that. So they have done a good job so far on the defense down deep in the field. It's 3rd and 7. Wheelersburg facing a third and relatively long here. But, of course, they're in 4-down territory, so we'll see what happens. As Davis rolls to his right. He has time and goes underneath, and nice defensive play as the pass was going to Burke. As trying to drop it in there, Palladino came up and knocked it away from Burke. Palladino playing some good defense there. That's going to bring up a 4th down, but however, do we see a flag somewhere? Nope. Yep. Nope. Yep. They're talking, so that must mean flag time. I don't see the hanky anywhere, but I'm sure it's out there.
Looks like you might need an end, Red.
So we'll see what our official has to say. He comes over, gives us the word. Holding against Wheelersburg. So that'll drop the Pirates back. It'll be 3rd down and about 17 or so. Let's see where they place it. Going to place the ball down on just outside the 30-yard line. They have to get down to about the 11, so 16 or 17 to go. As Davis calls, puts Howard in motion, gives to Howard, who's going way out there on the right, and he's not going to get anywhere. Oh, he gets away, but doesn't get away from everybody. Following up in there, and the final dust off there, Chase Rowe following up and knocking him down for the final time. And so it'll be 4th down now for Wheelersburg and a couple to go, and the ball is sitting on the Ironton 26-yard line. If that would be an attempt at a field goal, it would be a 43-yarder. Not likely, although Daylor Lewis does put the foot to it. Instead, it looks like they'll try to go and see if they can eke out a 1st down here. If not, they have Ironton in the hole. But first, there's a timeout on the field called by the Wheelersburg Pirates. 9:26 to go. Wheelersburg's ahead 7-0. Back right after this.
Peter 10:17.
Ruth 2:11.
James 11:9.
When I was hungry. When I was lost. When I was stoned.
You gave me help.
Faith.
Joy.
You gave me a chance. Amanda 4:6. When I was saved.
Your holiday donations to the Salvation Army make change all year long.
Welcome back. Here's the situation. It's going to be 4th down and 13 to go for Wheelersburg. The ball is on the Ironton 26. Wheelersburg is ahead 7-0. And so if they make this first down, they can keep driving. If not, Ironton will take over on their own end of the field. Our game tonight sent your way through some great sponsors. Wagner Rental and Supply all over Zone Country. Stoltz Pharmacy, located both in Greenup and in Wheelersburg. Mike's Auto Sales, Jason Conley, and Headlines Salon in Wheelersburg. Big fourth down play. Pirates going to see what they can do about this as they set things up. Way out to the left-hand side goes Burke. And now we got timeout or whistle or something. Looks like Ironton's going to call timeout. So the Fighting Tigers call timeout, and we'll be back with more right after this.
I knew I wanted to do some sort of engineering when I first started, and I saw the plastics program. I just fell in love with it. I like to think things through and solve problems. It's so interesting. I actually want to work in the design part of it, from an idea to an end project. There's something for everybody here, I think.
The background I had at Shawnee State has made an impact on what I do now. They gave real-world experience. There's opportunities for graduates to start before they graduate. It's not just trial and error, it's applied knowledge.
Welcome back. Ironton just called timeout right after Wheelersburg called timeout. We still have a fourth down, 13 to go, ball on the Ironton 26. 9 minutes, 26 seconds to go. We're just in the first half of play on a beautiful opening night. Weather working perfectly. And here comes Wheelersburg's fourth down try. They put a man in motion as we have seen almost every play. Davis fires downfield, got a man in the clear. Defensively broken up. Nice defensive play over there by Travis Carey. As Burke was unable to get it, Carey doing a great job. 6'4", 165-pound senior was reaching up there and doing his best to clog up the works, and he did that. So Wheelersburg will turn the ball over on downs. But Ironton will get it back for their second try of the evening. 9:20 to go here in the second. And Ironton will get the ball on their own 26-yard line. As they come up, Isaac is the quarterback. Barker, Young, and Palladino in the backfield. And off they go to the left side, and Barker doing a good job as he picks up a handful and gets, looks like maybe 6. It'll be second down and long 3, short 4. Ball is sitting on the 32-yard line of Ironton. So I guess that would be 6 with 26 and 32, and the subtraction makes 6. Bless you. Here comes Ironton again, same formation. Back and out. And getting through, but not all the way up there. And Wheelersburg brings him down. So with 8:38 to go, it is a first down for Ironton.
Really good. Desmond's playing great. I don't think he's getting whipped. I think he's tired.
They're approaching midfield. Ball on the 44.
Yeah. Wilson doesn't look bad backside.
As they come up.
Yeah, Rose telling me to put Robinson at nose guard too.
They set. They're going to be a quick pitch to the left side. With it over there is Palladino. Palladino tries to step his way toward the 50, and he's going to pick up a couple or 3. They're going to mark it down on the 47-yard line. So it'll be 2nd down and 6 to go for the Ironton Fighting Tigers. Tigers next will host the Russell Red Devils. All they have to do is cross the bridge here and see who their next opponent will be. But the other opponent will be coming back this way, as the Red Devils will be in their second game of the season tonight, and then come in to take on the Tigers next week. And a little quick hitter in the middle, and it seems to work pretty well up in there for Des Young. Des Young gets across midfield and down to the Wheelersburg 47. It's going to be just a shade short of the first down. It's going to be 3rd down and maybe 1 to go for Ironton. 7:15 to play here in quarter number 2. Don't forget, at halftime, it's the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Our ball game tonight brought to you by King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio. Serving you from Scioto Trail in Portsmouth, as they try to go pretty much to the middle again. And that's going to be enough for a first down, as Des Young should get across the first down line, and it should be marked up as a first down for Ironton, and indeed it is. Clint Hatfield on the stop, 6'1", 185-pound junior. 6:45 to play in the first half. Our game tonight brought to you by William Deaver. Brought to you by All About Air. And by Scioto Trail Animal Clinic. Barker up in the middle there. And in the middle of the scrum as they come off of there, Sam Hall. Big senior, 285 pounds worth of him. Number 67 when you see him there on the screen. He's a sizable lad. Several sizable lads out here tonight on either side of the ball. There's Ironton coming up. Jake Isaac, 5'11", 160-pound junior, is under center. And he's going to give, and as they move up through there, Palladino jumps over one and moves his way down inside the 40, down to about the 36-yard line. That'll make it 3rd down and about 2 to go for Ironton. We'll see Ironton again here on the zone in week 5. We'll be back here at Tanks Stadium, Bob Lutz Field, as Ironton will host the Portsmouth Trojans in an OVC game. Not that they wouldn't play anyway. They've been playing for 100 years. But now there's a league title on the line. Straight ahead and giving it off in there to Des Young. Across the 35 down to about the 33. That should be enough for an Ironton first down, and it is. Ironton started this drive on their own 26-yard line, and they have knocked out a number of plays now. 8 plays, 3 first downs. Started at the 9:20 mark, so they've had the ball now for 4 minutes and 20 seconds, as we've seen both teams keep a good handle on the ball so far and managed to put together some decent drives. First game of the season, this is exceptional work on both of these clubs' part. And the spin, and here they go this time to Barker. But there is a flag on the play, and it's going to be an illegal procedure play against Ironton. So that'll knock them back 5. Make it 1st and 15 from the 39. High school football on the zone, sent your way by Sideline Pizza. Brought to you also by Smith's Drugs. And also brought to you by Shawnee State University. 4:40 on the clock now. We're in the first half of play. The first half's kind of zoomed along here. Tigers up. This is the usual formation you see out of them. You see tight ends and a full house backfield. And a big mix-up looked like, but still some yardage coming out of that. Barker gets up through there. and manages to hold on and keep driving. To his credit, he did a good job of putting his head down, just kind of sticking it to him. Gets down to about the 35, where it'll be 2nd down and 12 to go for Ironton. As Wheelersburg looks up, they're getting the signal over there. Calling the defensive signals is Clint Hatfield down across the front line. Right now we've got Jeremy Cooper is in there. Right at the right cornerback. That's going to be, or safety rather, Jake Darnell. And there's a big hit. As Davis up quick to stop that baby in its tracks. And that's going to make it now a 3rd down for Ironton. And these teams met for the first time last year. Ironton won 42-16 at Ironton. Or at, Wheelersburg won 42-16 at Wheelersburg. I just changed history there, folks. Wheelersburg won at Wheelersburg 42-16. Ironton vastly improved during the season and made the playoffs. Little screen, and it works. Right in there is Barker. Barker's going to get down to about the 25. And it looks like they're going to be just a shade short of that 1st down. They set that up very well. And got some good yardage out of it, but came up just a wee bit short. So now it's going to be 4th and 2 down in this end of the field where they've got the luxury of taking a 4th down play if they want to. The ball on the 25. Again, if they were to try to kick it, it would be a 42-yard field goal attempt. I have no idea about Clay Willis's range. So full house, 4th and 2, big play. And they're going to give it across in there to Barker. Barker is going to be upended, have his legs cut out from under him. Let's see if he got enough as he fell forward. And it's going to be, looks pretty close to making it to me.
Give the Tigers a 1st down.
1st down, Ironton. That's the 4th one of this drive that started back on their own 26-yard line. And with less than 2 minutes to play in the 1st half, Ironton now knocking on the door with a chance to even things up here. And this time they're going to go to the right end. Wheelersburg in there hard. First big hit in there for Wheelersburg, coming up and belonging to Brady Newsom. So Newsom with a big grab there. Pick up a maybe 1 on that. So it'll be 2nd down and 9, and the clock continues to tick. Each team with 1 timeout left in this half. Ironton does not try to disguise anything. Straight ahead. Let's see if you can beat me. Football. There's a pass. Man open. Up and batted away, and defensively in there, Wyatt Henderson on the scene. A couple other Pirates over there, including Burke, but Henderson primarily on the scene. With 1:01, the clock will be stopped, and it'll now be a 3rd down and 9 to go. As I was saying, Ironton comes out, and they just say, here's what we do. See if you can beat us. It's straight ahead. Here's what I got. Show me what you got football. I like it. This time they come up, a little different wrinkle. Going to put a wingman out on the right. The wingman is Barker. Going to give no fake and chasing the quarterback and bringing him down. Lots of Pirates, and first on the scene over there for Wheelersburg was Jeremy Cooper, who knocked Isaac down way back out on the 35-yard line. The clock continues to run with 35 seconds to go, so now it's going to be 4th down and 22 yards to go for the 1st down. A 13-yard loss on that play. They can still get a 1st down without getting a touchdown. Right now, Clock is down to 20. And they're going to give it a fling. And down on the left. And it's in the reach of Wheelersburg and intercepted by Chasen Burke. Chasen Burke intercepts the pass with 12 and 4/10 seconds to go. So Burke, running step for step with the intended receiver, pulls that baby in over his shoulder in the end zone. And so Wheelersburg has got 12 seconds to see what they can do about things. So 12 and 4/10 seconds. They have one timeout left. Ironton as well. Wheelersburg will start, of course, following the touchback on their own 20. Looks like a into the half formation. Take a knee. There it is. And that'll do it. And so we are halfway through this contest. Had some excitement, had some good football, and we got a good halftime with the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. At halftime, Wheelersburg 7, Ironton nothing. Back with halftime right after this.
The sun is always shining at Sunspot Tanning Salons. We are your #1 source for that deeper, darker, lasting tan, and not just during summer, all year long. Our high-tech equipment gives you that perfect coloring by offering quality tanning in a clean, cool, and controlled environment for everyone from beginners and beyond. Excellent up-to-date products and various locations with convenient hours. You won't have to wait for the sun to look fine.
Welcome to the Sunspot, where the sun always shines.
This is my business.
I'm the owner and sole proprietor.
I only have one other employee, Chester.
It's a romantic notion. Be the boss, but you are alone.
Well, not technically alone.
I do have a lot of help, actually.
My UPS store.
I had this printed there.
Packing, shipping, help.
Outstanding.
Posters.
I have a mailbox there.
Best thing, they're right down the street.
The owner's a friend.
I got the account.
My team.
Yes! Careful now.
2 for the 7:30, please.
Enjoy the movie.
It's a lot cleaner. Yeah, they actually cycle movies faster here.
The bassoon look like a box of chocolates.
Have you seen a really big snake?
I hate snakes.
None shall pass.
Wheelersburg Cinema, still bringing movies to life.
Welcome back to Tanks Memorial Stadium, Bob Lutz Field. Tony Lavender along with his own sports team. And our halftime report is presented by Trinidad Orthopedics and Sports Medicine on Kenny's Lane in Portsmouth. Always our halftime sponsor, and we are mighty happy to have them on board. Trent Williams has handed over the team stats for the first half. And in that first half, for the Ironton Tigers, they had 24 rushing attempts for 79 yards. The Pirates, 17 rushing attempts, 7 fewer for 57 yards. In the passing department, Ironton tried 2 passes, completed one of them, but unfortunately it was to a Wheelersburg player. So 0 for 2 with an interception tonight for Ironton's quarterback, Jake Isaac. In the passing department for Wheelersburg, we see that Kyle Davis has made 2 attempts, 1 for 38 yards that took Wheelersburg down to the 1-yard line right before their score, and altogether, including one of them for 38 yards, 20 yards down to the 1-yard line, Altogether, they've had 9 attempts, 5 completions, 46 yards, so a little more than 11 yards, a little more than 8 yards per completion, 8, maybe 9 yards per completion. And again, Ironton none. Total offense Wheelersburg with 105 yards total offense, or 103 yards total offense in the first half. Ironton with 79 yards total offense in the first half. In scoring, there's been one touchdown in the ball game tonight, that belonging to Jordan Howard, the 5'9 senior for Wheelersburg, as he scored at 7:39 in the first quarter on a 1-yard run, capping an 11-play, 54-yard drive that began on the Wheelersburg 46. They used 4 minutes and 14 seconds on the clock in that drive. So good job on that play, on that drive for the Pirates. It's been the only scoring drive, but both teams have put together some extremely effective drives tonight. Ironton, on their first possession, started a drive on their own 39, put 3 first downs together, but were stopped on the Wheelersburg 28 on downs after using almost 5 minutes of clock time. Wheelersburg took that drive, put together 4 first downs, went around the corner into the second quarter, and eventually turned the ball over on downs on the Ironton 26. Ironton got that ball after that stop at the 9:20 mark and put together a 17-play, 9-minute and 8-second drive that was intercepted in the end zone by Chasen Burke with 12 seconds to play in that first half. So when you get right down to it, Wheelersburg has had 2 drives. Ironton has had 2 drives. Wheelersburg, the last drive wasn't really a drive. It was taking a knee with 12 seconds to go. So each team's had the ball twice. One team has scored, and we are at 7-0 at halftime here on the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Trent will have individual stats for us, and that'll be along after we return right after this.
The Battery Terminal King Chip Womack has made a proclamation announcing the appointment of his new court jester, Will. While Chip is still paying top dollar for old batteries, Jester Will is paying in gumballs when he's in the office.
Infinity Home Healthcare is a family-owned group of caring professionals committed to the overall well-being of our patients. We specialize in letting your loved ones live a normal life at home. Call us today and let our family take care of your family.
You know the value of planning and hard work. For every seed you plant now, you will be rewarded later. Throughout your life, you've planned and made smart decisions. You deserve State Auto's Prime of Life to protect your home and autos. Find out more about Prime of Life and other State Auto products.
Call Barrett Murphy, your local State Auto Insurance Agency.
Time of possession too. Welcome back to Lutz Field. It's halftime, and Wheelersburg leads Ironton, the traditional season opening game for both teams, 7-0. And it's been a pretty good half. Each team's had the ball a couple of times and have put together long drives. As I mentioned, Wheelersburg with a 54-yard, 11-play drive. Ironton put one together that ran for about 9 minutes. Then Wheelersburg put together one that ran about 6 minutes. Then Ironton put together one that ran 9 minutes and 8 seconds, took 17 plays. Really good, effective ball management there by the Fighting Tigers, and that was ended with an interception in the end zone as they were knocking on the door. You're on the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Up next for Ironton, Ironton will be hosting the Russell Red Devils, and that'll be happening next week right here at Lutz Field. That'll be at 7:30. The Wheelersburg Pirates, in the meantime, will be hosting the Fairland Dragons as they'll tangle at Wheelersburg next Friday night. And the Pirates will see what they can do as they go into their second game of the season. It's 7-0 here at halftime on the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. And we'll be back with the individual stats right after this.
Daughters Medical Center Ohio is working to provide health care that raises the bar with experienced physicians you know, like cardiologist Sri Valluri, one of the region's most respected heart experts. Our advanced diagnostic equipment and passionate attention to detail allows every possibility to be explored in order to find the best treatments available. King's Daughters Medical Center Ohio is a team dedicated to world-class health care for Portsmouth.
Speedway. They are going to start.
Welcome back to Tanks Memorial Stadium. You can see the teams are coming back out, getting ready to roll here into the second half. Ironton out, Wheelersburg out. Trent is putting together our individual rushing stats for the first half. We want to remind you again that the score is 7-0. And Wheelersburg leads thanks to a touchdown by Jordan Howard as the senior pushed it across at the 7:39 mark of the first quarter. Following an 11-play, 54-yard drive, they kept the ball for 4 minutes and 14 seconds. So that's been the only score tonight, as both teams have moved the ball and have held on to the ball. We've had really no fumble recoveries in this half, but we have had one interception. But things have really been well done by the offensive units thus far this evening. We're about ready to roll here into half number 2. And here are our individual rushing stats. First of all, for the Wheelersburg Pirates, Kyle Davis has 3 yards rushing on 3 carries. Chasen Burke with 7 yards on 3 carries. Jordan Howard, the workhorse for Wheelersburg so far, 11 carries for 45 yards. That's a 4.1 yard per carry average. And 1 carry on the evening so far for Wheelersburg's Xander Carmichael, as the sophomore ran for 2 yards. In the receiving department, Burke has 4 catches for 42 yards. And Howard has 1 catch for 4. For the Fighting Tigers, leading rusher on the evening for Ironton is D'Angelo Palladino. Palladino, 11 carries, 47 yards. Again, a little better than 4 yards a carry. He's done some fine running. 8 carries on the evening for Andrew Barker, as Barker has 35 yards on 8 carries, so he's a little better than 4 yards a carry. 3 carries on the evening for Des Young. Young has 10 yards altogether. And then a negative 13 yards on the evening for Jake Isaac. Isaac with that big hunk of negativity coming simply because he was sacked on about a 20-yard loss there in that second quarter. So those are your rushing stats again for the evening. Wheelersburg with 46 yards passing. And in addition to that, 47, 54, 57 yards rushing. Ironton with 82 yards rushing, actually after subtracting the negative 69 yards rushing. And that's where we are, as we're about a minute away from the start of the second half here at Ironton High School. If the teams play the same way the second half as they did the first, we got a goodie coming your way, folks. You've been watching the Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine halftime report. Halftime score, 7 for Wheelersburg, none for Ironton. We'll be back with the second half kickoff when we return right after this.
A night of family entertainment awaits you at the Portsmouth Cinema 8. We're always improving. More games, better movies, delicious concessions, online ticket sales, and updates on Facebook as well. To make your experience better, we now have all 8 theaters in digital DLP with Dolby Surround Sound. Plus, you can watch your next digital 3D movie here. All the entertainment you need at Portsmouth Cinema 8. Movies will never be the same again.
Welcome back. Second half. Ironton will receive. They'll defend the goal to our left. Ironton in the black jerseys, Wheelersburg in the white jerseys. Taylor Lewis will kick it off as he tees it up from the 40-yard line. Back deep, Ironton is running 2 men back there, as Lewis will deliver the second kickoff of the night for the Pirates. 2 more quarters, 24 minutes to play here. Great crowd on hand and good hospitality from the folks here at Ironton. We want to thank them. There with little end over end shorty. Wheelersburg's going for it. And as they jump up out of there, let's see who came up with it. Looks like it might have been recovered for Ironton by Chase Rowe.
You got me?
So we'll see. They're going to throw a flag against. They're not going to accept that. Ironton's going to take it right there, and it'll be first down and 10 to go for the Ironton Fighting Tigers as the ball is on their own 39-yard line. And we are just underway with just 2 seconds gone here in this second half of play. As Ironton will start, they have put together some bodacious drives thus far in the first half of this ball game. They had 2 of them, and they had it twice. Wheelersburg had it twice, plus 1 play to take a knee. Coming across that way for Ironton, it's going to be Barker again. So Andrew Barker going to pick up about 3 or 4. Whitney on the stop for the Pirates as we are just underway in half number 2. Our ball game tonight brought to you by the Portsmouth Tennis Club, by Pro Pest Control, by Rallies. Thanks to our sponsors and thanks to you for being there as well. We appreciate you. And Isaac under center and nicely done, and a flag down. And breaking loose is Palladino as he's all the way to the end zone. Flag thrown about the 46. I suspect it'll be an offensive flag. So we will see what we will see as that play developed from about the 42. As Palladino, a 58-yarder, illegal block. No, it's on Wheelersburg. So touchdown Ironton as Palladino on 1 play sort of knocks things their way. At 11:13 of this second quarter, all of a sudden we got a 1-point ball game. Coming up to kick will be Clay Willis. We'll see if they're going to go for 1 or 2. They're setting up like they're going to kick. As Willis, sophomore, holder for Ironton will be Isaac. 11:13 on the clock as they are set. And to start the second half, a big touchdown by Palladino. Kick. That one doesn't quite work the way they wanted it to as the kick fails. So with 11:13 to go, we got more of a game about it. It's a 1-point game, 7-6. Back with the kickoff right after this.
The library isn't just a source for books anymore. We are activities. We are local history and genealogy. We are entertainment. We are DVDs and books on CD. We are online. We are education. We are mobile. We are everywhere. We are still books and reading. We are here for our community. We are here for you.
We are the Portsmouth Public Library. I love the library.
Welcome back. We have just seen an exciting score as D'Angelo Palladino takes off, scoots 57 yards. A penalty flag was thrown, but it was against Wheelersburg to add insult to injury. And so Ironton scores, but the conversion doesn't go. So they'll step off the penalty against Wheelersburg on the kickoff. So Ironton will be kicking off from the Wheelersburg 45-yard line. This would be a place that a person might expect to see an onside kick, especially since there's a 1-point difference in the game. So we will see what happens here as Des Young, the senior, is the kicker. Howard is back deep. We don't know if this is going to go deep or not. 11:13 to go, just the start of the second half now. Ball has to go 10 yards. And off it goes, and it's going to go down toward the end zone. It's going to be fielded on about the 1 or 2, brought up the left side, and that was kind of a surprise to me. As Howard brought it up, I was really thinking that he would let that go into the end zone. But Wheelersburg now will get the ball for the first time in this half with 11:08 to go in this third quarter. And they'll have the ball on their own 16-yard line. If he'd let it go to the end zone, he would have had it on the 20. So here come the Pirates, up by one very slim point. They've got receivers with trips on the right, one to the left, keeping it, holding it. Davis out to about the 15. He didn't really even get back to the line of scrimmage, so a loss of about 1. Now they're going to place it down where he started, so they were pretty generous in the placement of the ball on that one. It'll be 2nd down and 10 to go. Wheelersburg up by 1. These teams have been holding on to the ball. And moving up through there. Howard up in there, and he's stopped on the play by Desmond Young, who's had a heck of a night defensively. In the first half, to indicate how much the teams held on to the ball, Wheelersburg had the ball 10 minutes and 2 seconds in that first half. And Ironton had the ball 13 minutes and 58 seconds in that first half. So these teams are hanging on to it. And Ironton, and the ball's down, and there's a flag, and other stuff going on. Got so much going on at once, it's hard to keep track of it. Lucky thing we got pictures. And that's going to be a false start against Wheelersburg, so that's going to shove them farther back into the hole. Ball now is going to be on the 17-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 9 to go for the Pirates. There you see them coming out. They send trips right again. One way out to the left-hand side, that's Darnell. Again, they offset Howard. Davis is going to throw on the right into a little bit of a naked screen almost. Burke gets out to about the 20, and he can't really go much farther than that as bringing him down in there. As he's brought down over in there by Carrico and others. So it'll now be 4th down and 4 to go for Wheelersburg, and dropping back deep for Ironton to field the potential punt is going to be Carey. He'll be standing about his own 43, booting the ball away from about his own 9. Will be Chasen Burke. Well, let's see who they got over there kicking for Wheelersburg. Long snap is good. The kick is on its way, and it's fumbled and recovered by Wheelersburg and bounces out again. Now we'll see who gets it. And it looks like the Pirates have recovered Carey's muffed punt. Yes, indeed, it's true. So the punt is muffed by Carey. Wheelersburg jumps on it. I didn't catch the name of the player that jumped on it, but the Pirates get new life. Tanner recovered that. And so Wheelersburg, with 8:49 to go, now has the ball brand new on the Ironton 41. Big flag high in the air, as we didn't really see many of those in the first half. Now we're seeing those babies fly like the birds are heading south. Something against Wheelersburg. And let's see what they are saying to us. Here comes our official. Illegal shift against Wheelersburg. So it'll be first down and 15. High school football on the zone, brought to your way by Gaddy's Pizza, by Scioto Trail Animal Clinic, by the Ohio Automotive Group, and by Ryan Salmons, your State Farm agent. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there. Man in motion. And the give, and not much room there for Burke. He's initially tripped up over there by Andrew Barker. And so it'll now be a second down and long with about 13 to go. 8 minutes and 15 seconds to play here in the third quarter of play. Wheelersburg has the ball. They're in the white. Ironton has the black shirts. Back to pass is Davis way down the field. And that one is incomplete as they were shooting way downfield that time. As you can tell from the booing, the Wheelersburg fans didn't like it. They thought that their man down there, Tanner Bivens, was a little bit molested in his attempt, but looked like a pretty good clean one from here on the TV. So with 8:02 to go, Wheelersburg now faces a 3rd and 12 on the Ironton 44. Doubles either side. As before, Howard is back there offset from Davis. Snaps a little high, and Ironton's coming hard, and the ball is loose. And let's see who comes up with it. Looks like it might be Ironton. Nope. Wheelersburg does get on it. I thought actually Des Young had fallen on that, but he did not get a hold of it. That's the problem with an oblong ball. So Wheelersburg now with 4th and 23 is going to be forced into a punting situation, and they're going to punt back there with Xander Carmichael. He's going to be standing on his own 33 to receive the snap. No rush. Kick is high and long, and it's going to bounce and be downed on about the 18-yard line. So Wheelersburg gets a second life on that series, but they're unable to convert on it, and as a result, they're going to give it by way of the punt to the Ironton Tigers, who'll get it on their own 18-yard line with 7 minutes and 9 seconds to play here. We got a 1-point game, folks. As you can see, Wheelersburg up 7-6. High school football on the zone. Don't forget, next week we'll have the West Senators at the Portsmouth Trojans from the Coliseum, and we'll have that game for you right here a week from tonight on the zone. Here come the Tigers. Again, setting them, Jake Isaac is the quarterback. Des Young, Andrew Barker, and D'Angelo Palladino in the backfield. They're going to go on the right side, and moving his way forward to about the 24-yard line is Palladino. He's scored the lone Ironton touchdown. It was a doozy to start off about the third play of this half. He's a threat to do that on any possession. So keep your eyes peeled on that as we're in a 1-point game right now. Clock is rolling at 6:44 to go, but we're only in quarter number 3. High school football on the zone brought to you by Dan Cassidy and all the folks at Barrett and Murphin Insurance. Brought to you by the Krispy Kreme Donut Shop. Great place to stop, Gallia and Waller. And by Bob and Floyd's Tire Service. Barker stopping it up in there for Wheelersburg. Clint Hatfield on the scene. Jake Darnell also assisting. And so now that's going to bring up what would be a 3rd down and about 6 or 7 to go for Ironton. A couple of contrasts in this game so far. First half, very few penalties. This half, the flags have been a-flying. So as Ironton comes up, we see the full house backfield. And they're going to go and give it off in there, and moving forward with it is Des Young. Or excuse me, Palladino. That was a 2, not a 3. Wyatt Henderson on the stop for Wheelersburg, but moving it forward. Wheelersburg is not able to stop him before he gets a first down. So that'll be a first down for Ironton, their first of this series. As they'll get ready to go, the ball is placed between about the 28-yard line, maybe the 29. As they are set. And unable, there's a flag on the play, but the quarterback is sacked. Bailey drops Isaac. There's a flag thrown in the defensive backfield. And this time it's against Ironton, an illegal block. So that'll be costly, as that's going to shove Ironton back halfway to the goal line. So they'll take her back half the distance. It'll still be first down. And they're going to set that ball about the 13-yard line. So first and about 26 to go for the Ironton Fighting Tigers. You see them huddling there down near their goal line. As they come out, they got some chunks of territory to make up here. And we got a whistle and timeout Ironton. So with 4:55 to go in the third quarter, Ironton calls timeout. Back with more right after this. Welcome back. This is Bob Lutz Field at Tanks Memorial Stadium. This is high school football, and you are on the zone. The team in the white uniforms you see there is the Wheelersburg Pirates, and they lead the Ironton Fighting Tigers by a score of 7-6 with 4 minutes and 55 seconds to go here in the third quarter of play. Wheelersburg led at the half, 7-0. Ironton scored early in this second half on a D'Angelo Palladino 57-yard TD. That was only 47 seconds into the half. They missed the extra point, and so the result is a one-point ball game right now. Ironton comes out. They've got first and 26. They're in their own end of the field. Backs to the wall. They get set to go. And a draw that works pretty well. There goes Palladino. He's on the way again. And he's going to be, their ball pops loose. And we'll see what happens now. Looks like Wheelersburg may be on top of it. Nope, they say Ironton got on it. So Palladino gains, and then they gain a little more on the fumble, and that puts them in pretty good shape. They pick up another first down on a nice little draw play. Palladino was loose, and the ball sort of squirted out of there. And there were two Pirates and one Tiger around there, and the Tiger managed to come up with it. That's what happens when you play with the oblong ball. 33-yard gain for Palladino, and the ball is on the 46-yard line of the Fighting Tigers. This time they're going to send a man way out to the right-hand side. That's Barker. And in the backfield, Wheelersburg arrives about the time that Palladino does with the ball. And so on that one, a loss of about one. It'll be 2nd and 11. We have 4 minutes to go here in the third quarter of play. Again, next week, join us as we will be at the Coliseum in Portsmouth for the Portsmouth West Senators and the Portsmouth Trojans. Portsmouth has already had their first game of the season. They dropped one to the Valley Indians. West playing simultaneously with us this evening. And Palladino looking for room, not there, brought down on the play, grabbing him low and taking him down for Wheelersburg was Kyle Davis. And a pickup on the play of a few. It's going to be 3rd and long, 3rd down, 9 to go, as the ball is a couple of yards away from midfield. You're watching high school football on the Zone. Sent your way by Sideline Pizza. Brought to you by Headline Salon in Wheelersburg. By All About Air. Brought to you by William Deaver. And by the Wheelersburg Cinema. Thanks to our sponsors. Thanks to you for being there. This time they're going to send Barker out to the left side. They've got Carey out to the right side. The back's in an eye. Back to pass, and they've got time, and it's complete to Carey, who's heading for the sideline, and he gets the first down. So a first down for Ironton is a completion to Carey. Is that their first completion of the night? Third completion of the night. Yes. Third first down of this drive. But the first completion of the night for Ironton, and Carey was wide open over there. So the ball's in Wheelersburg territory on the Pirate 43-yard line. Going to try to spread them out again. They've got wide receivers on either side, the same pair we had before. Whistle, 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 whistle. It looks like maybe illegal motion or illegal procedure against the Tigers. So Ironton will get shoved back 5. And they'll take that nickel away from them, but they'll still be on the Wheelersburg end of the football field. First down and 15 to go. You're watching high school football here on the Zone. Sent your way by our game sponsor, King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio. I want to thank Nancy Hawk and the folks at Real Estate Gallery who bring you our national anthem before every game. And, of course, you watched our halftime report presented by Trinidad Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Barker is wide to the left. Carey is wide to the right. The pitch to the tailback. Palladino tries it wide. There's a flag. There's a flag. Palladino driven out of bounds over there on the far side. But there are flags. Darnell brings him down, and it's going to be a hold against Ironton. Generally, when you see the flag thrown in that area, that means there's a hold coming. And so that adds another dime to Ironton's woes. So now they owe about 36 yards for a first down. Let's see what they put on the scoreboard here. 31 for the first down. So they got a 31-yard deficit to make up here, but it's still first down for them. So they've got plenty of plays to do that. And again, I want to point out they have a pretty explosive running offense that could eat that up. About the time it'd take you to down a delicious chocolate chip salted caramel cookie like we had here in the press box at halftime. Everybody's off on the right side. Whistle, 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 whistle. Got another one going. Illegal procedure against Ironton. And now they've been pushed back 5 more yards. Is that like 3 penalties in a row, Trent? 4th penalty in a row. Wow. When it rains, it pours. And the clock, of course, at 2:37. We're still in quarter number 3. Nobody's going anywhere. This baby is close. So the Tigers come up. 1st and 36. Isaac calls the shot. It's going to be a little one over there. Bounces off and caught. Great second effort and really alert play as it bounces into the hands of Andrew Barker. Wyatt Henderson brings him down, but that's the kind of thing, had the defense relaxed, Barker could have been off to the races because a lot of people relax when that ball gets batted up in the air. And to Andrew Barker's credit, he was right there thinking and in the game. It'll be 2nd down and 30 to go. Not much of a pickup, but it was neat looking. And it showed some good play. Way out to the left-hand side goes Carey. Got 2 more guys over there with him. Out to the right-hand side is Campbell. Back to pass is Isaac. He lets it fling down the field, and it's going to be batted away out of the hands of Campbell. On the defense there for Wheelersburg was Tanner Bivens, 6-foot-tall junior, was going toe-to-toe with Lucas Campbell. Each man had a hand on it. They had a chance to get it. But back here to our left, we've got a roughing the passer play that's going to tick off against Wheelersburg. So nice defensive play by Bivens is going to result in a 1st down for Ironton. So they've got to bring the chains actually are going to have to move backwards for this 1st down. So you don't usually see them move the chains backwards to give you a 1st down, so there's an unusual thing for you. Barker out to the left, Carey to the right. And big crowd in there for Des Young. Here's the situation. Ironton began this drive at 7:09. They're up to about 6 minutes worth now. They had gotten to about where you see them on the field now when a whole series of penalties pushed them way back. And now they have recovered from that and are sort of back to square one. 2nd down and 11 to go with the ball just on the Wheelersburg side of midfield. And here they come going back to their bread and butter formation, the full house. And they're going to give it, and moving ahead is Palladino. And there's a late flag coming somewhere at the bottom of the pile there for Wheelersburg. We saw Caleb Browning. And a late flag. Now, who's this one going to be against and what's going on? Let's see what we got. We've got a personal foul against Ironton. So, if you are an Ironton fan or an Ironton coach, right now you've got to feel like it's 1 step forward and 2 steps back. 1 step forward and 2 steps back, as they have been in this little limbo area now for over 6 minutes. They got it across midfield, and they got shoved back, and they got it back to midfield, and now they got shoved back by a penalty. So it's going to be 3rd down and 25. They send trips out to the left again. Campbell's out to the right. And I think it was illegal motion. I thought I saw somebody jump early. Yep. It looked to me that Barker jumped before the snap. That's what I thought I saw. And it looked like he took off before the snap, and that would be an explanation of what they saw, because that's about the time they threw the flag. Not that I'm down there where they are. We have 28 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. And so, here it is, 3rd down, 18 seconds to go in the quarter. Trips left. And taking it out, Isaac rolls, got time, decides to tuck it and run with it, and he's going to go out of bounds around the 37 or 8 yard line, it looks like. See where they mark him. That's not going to be enough for the 1st down, but it gets some of that ground back. And they say he's going to step out about the 40. And with 1 second to go in the third quarter, he stepped out of bounds, so the clock will stop. It's going to be 4th down and 22 to go. Back deep, 1 man for Wheelersburg. Howard will be standing about his 30. The punt is short and high. And it doesn't really take a bounce in favor of anybody. It just kind of dies there. Hitting on it and stopping it is Brock Midkiff Sands. And that's going to end the third quarter. So we're 3/4 of the way home here. And the score is Wheelersburg 7, Ironton 6. Back with quarter number 4 right after this.
Wherever good can overcome, that is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
Welcome back to Bob Lutz Field here at Tanks Memorial Stadium. It's the end of the third quarter, and Wheelersburg will have the ball following the Ironton punt. Ironton on that last one used 7 minutes and 9 seconds of the clock. They started on their own 18-yard line, got up to midfield, got shoved back, got back up to midfield, got shoved back, finally had to punt the ball away, and that's how the quarter ended, and that's where we are here now. As you watch high school football on the Zone, sent your way by Jason Conley, also brought your way by Mike's Auto Sales, Stoltz Pharmacy in Wheelersburg and Greenup, Wagner Rental and Supply, and the Goodwin Group. Thanks to our sponsors and thanks to you for being there. Here come the Pirates. They're moving from your left to your right now on your TV screen. And a little off tackle play. Howard has some room, gets a nice block and gets a couple of extra out of it. Nice block thrown out in there for Wheelersburg by Tanner Bivens. Howard picks up the first down as they start the quarter. And what yard line were they on when they started this train? On their own 43. And now they are in Ironton territory, and they're going to have second down and about 9 to go as Howard has been working out heavy tonight. Des Young on the stop for Ironton. Tyler Webb also in on that. And now we're stopping for a minute to see something. We got an equipment problem over here, okay. So a little equipment problem, and so they're going to substitute. Sending out Eli Willis to get some equipment taken care of. Again, Howard set off to the side. They fake to him, and it's going to be kept by Davis. Davis scoots his way down inside to about the 30-yard line. He's stopped on the play in there by Garrett Carrico. And that puts them now with another first down. 2 on this drive so far, right? And as they are set, Howard is upended, and people jumping around like the ball was popping loose, but I think he was on the ground. And as you well know, the ground cannot cause a fumble. The player's down, he's down. Heads up play there, however, by Carrico trying to go after it. 10:40 to play in this ball game. It's a one-pointer, don't disappear. Pirates come up, they got 2 on the left, 1 on the right. Up under center is Davis, and he's going to give, and a little off tackle, off guard to the right side there as Howard gets it on the short set. Now it'll be third down and about 4 or 5 to go. And again, Davis is under center, and they're going to give it inside on a little dive play and moving forward. Not enough for the first down. Ironton's defense stands tall there. Man off the bottom of the pile for Ironton is Des Young. And we got a man down for Ironton, holding fourth with some pain over there. Unfortunately, is Tyler Webb, and we don't want to see that happen as he is on the ground. So there's going to be a timeout for an injury with 9:52 to go. We'll be right back after this quick word.
My niche, I really think, is pediatrics. I love little kids. I enjoy being around them. It's a very rewarding field to be in. I chose Shawnee. They had a great nursing program. I couldn't ask for a better place to be. From the very beginning, I knew that I wanted to continue my education, so I'm working on my master's degree in nursing informatics. I'm kind of the translator between the worlds of nursing and information technology, and I couldn't have done it without the education and the support from Shawnee State.
Tyler Webb goes off the field under his own power with some assistance. Webb, good young man, 6'5", 270-pound junior. We're set to play. 4th down and 3 to go for the Pirates. They've got the backs in an eye. Davis is under center. Everybody's in tight. A wing man to the left. As they go to the tailback. That's Howard. Howard breaks through. He's on his way. Looking for a flag. Don't see one. 23-yard touchdown, Jordan Howard. Jordan Howard, 23 yards. As what was designed to be the play to catch the first down, everybody was uptight, and after he got through that defense, there was nobody there to run him down. So with 9:46 to go in this ball game, Wheelersburg now has taken a 13-6 lead. Taylor Lewis will try to make it 14-6. Dorr is the holder. Kick is up, it's long enough, and it's good. And as we come back up the field, the score is Wheelersburg 14, Ironton 6. Back with the kickoff right after this. Welcome back. Wheelersburg has just increased their lead from 1 point to 8 by putting together a 7-play, 57-yard drive that took 2 minutes and 14 seconds, capped by Jordan Howard's 23-yard run. Taylor Lewis's kick was good, and so Wheelersburg now leads by the score of 14-6. You're watching a high school football on the Zone. As the Pirates get ready to kick off, our game presented to you by Osco Industries, by Smith's Drugs all over Zone Country, Jason Bentley, and by Bob and Floyd's. Thanks to our sponsors and thanks to you for being there. Kick end over end, taking about the 24-yard line, moving forward to about the 30. Nice return in there that time for Travis Gayhart. And he gives Ironton pretty good field position as the Tigers, now with 9 minutes and 42 seconds left in this game, find themselves 8 points down, and they get the ball now on their own 31-yard line. So as we gather here together, want to remind you again, our game tonight presented by the UPS store on 11th Street, by the Battery Terminal in Ashland, by the Wheelersburg Cinema and all the Zone Country locations of Sunspot Tanning. Ironton moving forward, sticking to the inside. Palladino comes up in there, Tackles on the play that time included Cooper, who was in on it. Jeremy Cooper for the Pirates. He's having a good ball game tonight. Across the front line for Ironton to start the game tonight, it was Hayden Robinson, Ronnie Artis, Levi Langdon, Brock Midkiff Sands, and Tyler Webb. I'm going to try to check and see if Webb is out here and if he has returned to action after getting banged. Yes, he has returned, so that's good news. He's over there next to Campbell, it looks like, and he's in place. Little counter play, and it gets a couple, but Wheelersburg responds. Barker met head on over there by several of the Pirates, including amongst them Jeremy Cooper again. Ball is now on the 35-yard line, so it'll now be third down and 5 or 6 to go. They got to get just a shade past the 40, so 6 is a good number. 8:27 to play. And the Fighting Tigers, 7-3 last year, made the playoffs. Their playoff run ended against this Wheelersburg club, so the last time these two teams played, it was against each other. They opened the season, and Ironton closed the season with Wheelersburg. Got a wingman to the left. And on a counter, they're going to the wing, and that's Palladino, and he's staying up hard, and they finally blow it dead. Palladino was not willing to go down there. He was continuing to fight hard. He did a good job of trying to fight off those defenders, but they were coming right with him and hanging on, bulldogging him almost. So with 7:39 to play, that's going to bring up a 4th down and 6 to go for the Fighting Tigers. Coming back to punt for Ironton.
Flags on the play.
Nobody right now because we got a flag. Let's see what that's all about. As things are kind of developing slowly here. Personal foul against Ironton. Unsportsmanlike conduct would be the name of the game.
Unsportsmanlike conduct against the Tigers.
And back they go. Now the ball is going to be sitting on the 15-yard line. It's going to be 4th down and 25. They're still going to kick it, but now a little more precarious spot on about his 1-yard line. So we'll see what develops now. That would be the 10th penalty against the Fighting Tigers in this half. Kick is up, and it's going to take an Ironton bounce, and Wheelersburg's just going to let it go. And it rolls way down to about the 40-yard line. So Ironton punts it away, and Wheelersburg lets it roll, and that's where they will take over as you see them switching sides with 7:11 to play in this ball game. Wheelersburg will get the ball, 1st and 10, and they're marking that ball on the Wheelers, just a shade outside the 40. We'll call it their 41. High school football on the zone coming your way, presented by Infinity Home Healthcare, by Portsmouth Cinema 8, by all the Zone Country locations of the Portsmouth Public Library, and by the Salvation Army. So the Pirates now, with Davis discussing things with his running mates, is up under center, backs in an eye, and another flag.
Offense is 8-man right.
And this one will go against Wheelersburg. If you were thinking that early season would show a lot of flags, in the first half we didn't see that at all. We saw some good, clean, operating football in that first half. In this half, we have seen flags flying like swallows coming back to Capistrano.
Here it is, 8-man.
And so they're going to pitch to the tailback. And he gets loose. That's Howard, out of bounds about the 44 or so. There was nobody back there for several more yards, so His going out of bounds was certainly a fortuitous thing for the Ironton defense as they grabbed his ankle and it threw him off balance and he stepped out. It'll be second down, 6 to go. Long 6, short 7. Dive out to about the 50. And carrying the ball that time for Wheelersburg was Xander Carmichael.
Third and short, we make it interesting, we get one.
And so the ball comes up just shy of midfield. In fact, if I put my binoculars on it, that baby may be an inch or two away from midfield, but not much. So Wheelersburg comes up, everybody's tight, 3rd and 1 to go. Again, trying with the dive. Howard gets it, first down Wheelersburg. They started this drive on their own, where were we, 40? I said 40, well, it's 41, between the 40 and 41. So they picked up their first down and they are in Ironton territory. 6:18 to play. Don't forget at the conclusion of the game we'll be presenting the Defensive Player of the Award presented by Toro Loco and our Player of the Game award presented by Compass Community Healthcare Center. Oh, there's some early action. Out on the right side, Clint Hatfield kind of leaped up through there. And so that'll go against Wheelersburg. Now, I'm going to sound like I'm pretty sarcastic here, but in this half we have seen the offenses go more backwards than we have seen them go forward. The penalties have just been flying.
8-man right. Oh, 8-man left.
We'll see what happens now with 1st and 15.
Shift the other way, Red. Luke's got to shift down.
Same formation.
We didn't shift the right way.
Pitch to the tailback. That's Burke. Burke on the left side is going to get across midfield and back to the original line of scrimmage, maybe. It'll be real close to it. Say came up just about short. He's about the 49-yard line of Ironton. So they are in Ironton territory. It'll be second down and 11 yards to go for the Wheelersburg Pirates. They lead the Ironton Fighting Tigers, as you see on your scoreboard there, by the score of 14-6. Wheelersburg next will take on an OVC foe as the Fairland Dragons will come to Ed Miller Stadium to meet Coach Rob Woodward's club. And now we've got timeout Wheelersburg. So with 5 minutes even to play, score Wheelersburg 14, Ironton 6. Back with more right after this.
The sun is always shining at Sunspot Tanning Salons. We are your #1 source for that deeper, darker, lasting tan, and not just during summer, all year long. Our high-tech equipment gives you that perfect coloring by offering quality tanning in a clean, cool, and controlled environment for everyone from beginners and beyond. Excellent up-to-date products and various locations with convenient hours. You won't have to wait for the sun to look fine.
Welcome to the Sunspot, where the sun always shines.
Welcome back. This is Bob Lutz Field at Tanks Stadium. And you are watching high school football on the Zone. Wheelersburg in the white, Ironton in the black jerseys. And our game tonight sent your way by Bob and Floyd's Tire Service, by Dan Cassidy, and all the folks at Barrett and Murphin Insurance, by the Portsmouth Tennis Club, by your hometown university, Shawnee State University. Thanks to our sponsors, and thanks to you for being there. Here come the Pirates, 2nd and 11, just inside the Ironton end of the field. Twin receivers off to the right. Now they shift. And another illegal procedure penalty. This one against Wheelersburg. And so now it'll be second down and 16 for the Pirates. The clock still says 5 minutes exactly, where it was when we had timeout. This time we've got 2 guys out to the right, 1 guy out to the left. Again, the back shifts. Snap a little shaky, and the defense really strong. Coming in there strong was Eli Willis as he came roaring in there off to Davis's right and knocks him down. He was assisted on that play that time by Brad Perry. And so the ball now down on the 34-yard line of Wheelersburg. They've got 3rd down and 28. Pirates spread it out again. Same formation as before. Inside give. Good blocks, but not enough to get big yardage. They get back to about the 40 as Burke pulls that one up. Chasen Burke, a senior, 6'2", 180-pounder. Pirates finished 11-2 last year. This is Rob Woodward's 7th year at the helm of the Wheelersburg Ball Club. Back standing about his 25, 26-yard line is going to be the dangerous D'Angelo Palladino. Kick will get away from about the 30, and it does, and it's an end-over-ender that rolls down on a Wheelersburg roll way down to about the 10 or 11-yard line, where it was downed over there by Mike Hanna, but fear not, there's another flag. Let's see what we got this time. Illegal procedure against, no, wait, stop, what, where, who, how?
Illegal procedure against Wheelersburg.
I have never seen that symbol before, an erasure between the marks. Okay, so it's against Wheelersburg, so they'll have to boot it again. A little farther back. I don't know if they'll hope for a better return or they're going to try to set up a block. We'll see what Ironton's philosophy is, as Coach Mark Vass will see what he can deliver. He's in his 4th season here at Ironton. His career record 18-14. In 18-14, we took a little trip, along with Colonel Jackson, down the mighty Mississippi. I can name that tune. Yep. 3:25 to go. Palladino this time standing on his 31. See if they go for the block this time. Long count, low snap, no block attempt. That one doesn't spin as much, so it's not going to take as much of a wheel. Well, look at that. Continues to go. And it's going to be downed over there for Wheelersburg by Mike Hanna. And so Ironton, following the Wheelersburg punt,
First attempt for the Tigers.
with 3:16 to play, Ironton will have the ball. They're down by 8. Remember, 8 is just a touchdown and a 2-point conversion. So we will see what Ironton comes up with. And, of course, Ironton with great ability to score quickly. So with 3 minutes and 16 seconds left, that is not a big deal. So the pass is incomplete. And so Ironton now will have a 2nd down and 10 to go. They trail by 8. I just turned my monitor off, so I got to get back on that. Luckily, 3:13 to go. 2nd and 10. As again they go to the air. No, he's going to tuck and go. He's got some room. Upended over there on the far side. And Davis on the stop. And it should be about 1 yard to go toward the first down, and I now have my picture back. Hooray for me. Okay. So it'll be 3rd down and 1 to go for Ironton, 3:06 to play. High school football here on the Zone. Sent your way by Strieber Mortgage, by all the Zone Country locations of Sunspot Tanning, by All About Air, and by Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine. And we're going to go wide, see what we get. And what we get is a big set of hits from Wheelersburg. Palladino dropped down over there by several, including Xander Carmichael and Hatfield. Hatfield and Carmichael on the scene with several others. Darnell also showing up over there. 2:40 to play. Ironton now in a place where they got a 4th down and 3. They've got to convert to stay alive. And they trail by 8. A touchdown and a 2-pointer. They are, of course, going to go for it. Back to pass. They've got a man. It's complete for the first down. Nice catch over there. That time by Carey. So that'll be a first down for Ironton as Bivens runs him out, but Ironton stops the clock and gets the first down. Carey, 6'4", 165 pounds, senior. So the Tigers get new life, and they still have 2 minutes and 14 to go. Again, big fling, man open. Nice dive, and it bounces loose. Barker made a great snag of that, and as he hit the ground, the ball bounced out. He made a Spartan effort on that. The pass was well placed by Isaac. Barker down about the 35-yard line of Wheelersburg. Did a good job of grabbing that ball and a great leaping catch. Now 2nd and 10 as they come back to where they started. 2:09 to go. Ball loose, fumble, down on the ground. That'll be a wasted down with 2:01 to go. And that's going to put them now at 3rd and 10. Actually, they lose a few on the fumble, of course. So 3rd, and I'm trying to see exactly where the ball is. 3rd and 16, thank you. I should have looked at the scoreboard. And the ball on the 24-yard line. I got all these guys with these great tools taking care of me here, and I'm looking at the field. Back to pass. Has time, gets loose, going to go for the first down stick, and makes it, but doesn't make it to the sideline. Nice run by Jake Isaac. Isaac is going to be so close to that stick. And they give him the first, well, what are they going to do? They gave the first down. And the clock continues to roll. Back, catch, carry, turns, moves up to the 45. He's brought down in there as Isaac pass. Tackle on the play that time by Xander Carmichael on the coverage. And Ironton takes a timeout. They still have some timeout stuff to go. 2 minutes and something to go here, folks. The new timeout clocks just completely befuddle me anymore. Back after this message.
This is my business. I'm the owner and sole proprietor.
I only have one other employee, Chester.
It's a romantic notion. Be the boss, but you are alone.
Well, not technically alone.
I do have a lot of help, actually.
My UPS store.
I had this printed there. Packing, shipping, help.
Outstanding.
Toasters,
I have a mailbox there.
Best thing, they're right down the street.
The owner's a friend.
I got the account.
My team.
Yes! Careful now.
For that kind of goodies. Welcome back to Ironton's Tanks Stadium. Ironton is in this situation. They've got 1 minute and 7 seconds to play. They are down by 8 points. The ball is at 2nd and 5, and it's on the Ironton 45-yard line. And they need to score a touchdown and 2 points to tie this ball game. Trips right. Isaac now pursued, gets it away and over the head of his intended receiver, Palladino, but the flag flies, and we'll say that was probably interference. Now remember, in high school, pass interference is not an automatic first down, but they're in a place here that 10 yards would give them the first down, or 15 would give them the first down. Hold against Ironton. Wow. The way the guy threw the flag, it was at the precise moment the pass was going by. And we had a penalty against Wheelersburg as well. So we're going to replay second down, but one thing you can't get back is time. It's now 1 minute and 1 second to go. That used up 6 precious seconds for Ironton. Don't forget, at the conclusion of the game, Toro Loco Defensive Player of the Game and the Compass Community Healthcare Center Player of the Game awards. We've got a slot man on either side. And Isaac has time, but now it collapses around him. He gets away, still on his feet, gets the first down, and down to about the 43 of Wheelersburg. A great recovery by Jake Isaac. He was surrounded in bear hugs. 52 seconds to go. Isaac flings, it's complete to Carey. Carey heads to the inside, and on that one, chances are good he should have gone to the outside. 36 seconds to go, 2nd and 5. And they downed that baby real quick to stop the clock. Ironton still has 1 timeout left. And there's no point in leaving the field with the timeout on the scoreboard, so when they need it, they need to call it. Right now they're in this situation. They have 3rd down, 5 yards to go. The ball is on the Wheelersburg 39-yard line. Ironton is behind by 8 points. So they need to score and get a 2-point conversion. Lucas Campbell is way out to the right. Over in the slot is Barker. On our side, it's Carey and Palladino. Des Young is back to block. There's the fling. Man is open, but the ball is overthrown. Ball was over Carey's head. Chasen Burke was back on the coverage for Wheelersburg. That brings up a 4th down, so all the marbles will be on the table now. So the ball's on the 39-yard line. Our game tonight brought to you by Jason Conley, brought to you by Strieber Mortgage, brought to you by the Wheelersburg Cinema, and brought to you by the Ohio Automotive Group. Thanks to our sponsors, thanks to you for being there. Isaac rolls, he throws, he's got a man. Big play. They say no flag. 2 Wheelersburg players around as they were shooting for Barker over there about the 20-yard line. And what that does is, with 26 and 4/10 seconds left, gives the ball to Wheelersburg. And so the Pirates will now have the ball. And as they will come up, they'll go into the take a knee formation. And wait a minute, somebody's going to call timeout. Wheelersburg's going to call timeout. So timeout on the field with 56 seconds to go. Back after this.
Yeah, they actually cycle movies faster here.
But cinema like a box of chocolates.
Have you seen a really big snake?
I hate snakes.
None shall pass.
Wheelersburg Cinema, still bringing movies to life.
Welcome back. There you see the Wheelersburg Pirates. They are in a 14-6 leading position right now. They just took over on downs with the ball on their own 39-yard line. Ironton has one timeout left. Wheelersburg has one timeout left. Wheelersburg will come out with a set of 4 and 26 and 4/10 seconds to play. You can see they're in what's nowadays called the victory formation, as Davis takes a knee, and I think they're going to let her roll. And indeed they are. So again this year, we are entertained by 2 good football teams. Wheelersburg defeats Ironton by the score of 14-6. Back with the wrap-up right after this.
Wherever good can overcome, that is where your contributions to the Salvation Army go.
Welcome back to Tanks Memorial Stadium, Bob Lutz Field. Zone Sports Team on the scene here as Wheelersburg has defeated Ironton by the score of 14-6 in the first game of the 2015 season for each team. The joyous Pirates there celebrating in front of their home fans. And the way things started off, we weren't sure exactly that the game was going to last very long at all, because these teams kept the ball. They didn't have many penalties. The clock didn't stop a whole lot. Things were continuing to move right along as each team had good drives and so on. So as a result, the first half moved along rather quickly. Wheelersburg took the opening kickoff, started on their own 46, and then Jordan Howard took off on a 1-yard run that capped a 54-yard 11-play drive that had taken 4 minutes and 14 seconds off the clock. And Wheelersburg had Daylor Lewis kick the extra point. And at 7:39 in the first quarter, the Pirates were ahead 7-0. After that, Ironton came back. They took the ball and kept it for a good long while before they were stopped on downs. Wheelersburg came back, drove for a goodly amount of time, put together 4 first downs, and then they turned it over on downs. Ironton, same thing, came back, put together a 17-play, 9-minute and 8-second drive that was intercepted by Chasen Burke to break up that one, and that was just with 12 seconds left in the half. And as a result, what we saw happen was that it was 7-0 at halftime. The Wheelersburg Pirates were in the lead. Coming out in the second half, Ironton took the opening kickoff, and they did not waste any time. By the 11:13 mark, basically 45 seconds later, D'Angelo Palladino had scored a 57-yard touchdown, running that 57 yards in zoom time. And with 11 minutes and 13 seconds to go in the third quarter, we had ourselves a ball game. The kick did not work for Ironton, and so it was 7-6. Wheelersburg came back, started on their own 16, and punted it away, and the punt was muffed by the receiver for Ironton. So Wheelersburg got second life on that drive at 8:49 on the Ironton 41, but still were unable to convert and had to punt, giving it back to Ironton with 7:09 to play in the third quarter on the 18-yard line of Ironton. Ironton was unable to put it together, and as a result, they had to punt it away at the end of the third quarter. Wheelersburg started off with no time gone in the fourth quarter on their own 43. Put together a couple of first downs, and then the next thing you know, Jordan Howard was zooming along for 23 yards at the 9:46 mark, capping a 7-play, 57-yard, 2-minute and 14-second drive. Taylor Lewis's kick was good, and Ironton was up 14-6. That would have turned out to be the final score. Ironton had 2 more shots at it. They held Wheelersburg on their one try, and each time Ironton was unable to convert until they turned it over for the last time on downs with 26 seconds to play, and the game was history with Ironton unable to catch up and Wheelersburg winning by the score of 14-6. You're on the wrap-up show here, and we're going to be back to present the player of the game, the defensive player of the game, and look at the Trent Williams stats when we return to Bob Lutz Field right after this. Welcome back to Ironton High School. You're looking at the center of Bob Lutz Field as Wheelersburg has defeated Ironton tonight by the score of 14-6. And it's time now to take a look at some of the stats from Trent Williams in the second half. And the way things look here for the night, Wheelersburg had 79 yards rushing, 18 rushes. Ironton 21 rushes for 138 yards, so they really did stick things together there. In that second half, Wheelersburg threw the ball once, completed it once for 5 yards. Threw it twice. Nope, once. Okay, sorry. In the passing department for Ironton, they had to throw the ball a lot there later in the game. In the second half, 10 passes, completed 3, 20 yards altogether. Had a couple of real good ones. One bounce out of the hands of Barker late in the ball game. That was a tremendous effort on his part, and that young man really gave it an effort, but as he made the leaping catch, it wasn't quite fulfilled as the ball went scooting out of his hands. So those are the stats that Trent has got us here. We'll have some individual stats in a couple of moments. But first, let's talk about some of the things that are going on in relationship to players of the game. And first off, let's talk about our defensive player of the game. The defensive night tonight, Wheelersburg's defense got to play a lot of defense. Ironton's defense got to play a lot of defense as the offensive clubs managed to hold on to the ball a goodly amount of time. Unfortunately, in that second half, we saw numerous flags. Ironton was flagged 10 times in the second half. Wheelersburg was flagged a few, which sort of toned down that pace of the game that we thought was so good there in the first half. But as far as our defensive player of the game is concerned, presented to you by Toro Loco, we're going to give that to the young man that intercepted and broke up the Ironton drive as they were trying to drive down the field. If you remember, they had put together a drive. There was a big pass that was flung, and it was intercepted by this young man who's going to be our Toro Loco defensive player of the game. And we're going to give that honor to number 8 for Wheelersburg. He's 6'2", he's 180 pounds. He is a senior, and we have seen him play throughout the years as he's assumed whatever role they wanted him to. And we're going to give our Defensive Player of the Game award tonight to Chasen Burke of the Wheelersburg Pirates. So congratulations to senior Chasen Burke. He's our Toro Loco Defensive Player of the Game. Now in relation to our Player of the Game award, If you listened very carefully, you heard what was coming here. Our Player of the Game Award presented by Compass Comprehensive Healthcare Center, and they are proud to present the Zone Sports Player of the Game Award. And the young man who did this crossed the goal line twice for the Wheelersburg Pirates. He's 5'9", he's 185 pounds. He is a senior, and he played some really aggressive defense as well. And we're talking about number 21, our Compass Community Health Player of the Game. We're going to present that to 5'9" senior Jordan Howard of the Wheelersburg Pirates. So congratulations to Jordan. Jordan, a good young man, and we are happy to present him with the Compass Community Health Player of the Game Award, and we hope that he continues to have a very successful season. That Player of the Game Award presented to you by Compass Community Health, and we're mighty happy to have them along. So again, congratulations to our defensive player of the game, Chasen Burke, and our Player of the Game Award, Jordan Howard, as we salute them tonight on our post-game activity. Now Trent Williams has given me the final stats here, and in the ball game tonight, Wheelersburg led in rushing by our Player of the Game, Jordan Howard, 20 carries, 106 yards, a little better than 5 a carry. Also, 19 yards tonight for Chasen Burke, who had 6 carries, and 2 yards tonight on a carry for Wheelersburg, Xander Carmichael. Carmichael, a sophomore, getting into the action there in the receiving department. Burke had 5 receptions for 47 yards, plus the defensive reception. And Howard also had a reception for 4, so some of those stats should show you why we selected him our Compass Community Health Player of the Game. For the Ironton Tigers, leading all rushers tonight, and you might have guessed this one if you were keeping your eyes and ears open, that's belonging to number 22, the big senior, D'Angelo Palladino, the 5'10", 180-pounder. Carried the ball on the evening 21 times for 142 yards, better than 7 yards a carry. Included that great big long touchdown. That was a pretty exciting thing to watch. So Palladino leading all rushers with 142 yards tonight. 40 yards tonight for Andrew Barker. He's also a senior. He carried the ball 11 times for 40. It was 26 yards on the evening for the quarterback, and Jake Isaac. Isaac with 6 carries for 26. Des Young, the big fullback for Ironton, got his hands on the ball 5 times for 14 yards. And also carrying the ball 1 time tonight for Ironton was Boehm, who had 1 carry for 5 yards. In the receiving department for Ironton, it was Carey, who had Travis Carey, who had 16 yards receiving on 2 catches. Carey also had 1 rush for 5 yards, and then receiving also 1 catch tonight for Ironton was Barker, who had 1 catch for 6, and that one that got away that was really a heartbreaker for him, as that ball on the diving catch went leaping out of his hands. So those are our stats. It'd be 51, 161, 180, 188, 175 yards total for the Pirates, 168, 208, 22, 227, 233, 249 yards. So Ironton went in the battle of the yards because they had total time far and away most of the time in the ball game and time of possession. So that would make a difference, as total time, Ironton altogether had the ball for 27 minutes and 8 seconds. Wheelersburg 20 minutes and 52 seconds. Trent shows us that Ironton fully a third more time than Wheelersburg had the ball. Normally that would indicate that Ironton would have won the ball game, but that's not the case tonight. Wheelersburg's 2 scores to Ironton's 1. So Trent, thanks for that important stat on the evening. And that pretty well wraps us up from here at Tanks Memorial Stadium. Trent Williams has been our stat guy, thanks to our crew, and thanks to our sponsors as well. King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio, Real Estate Gallery, Trinidad Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Ryan Salmon State Farm, Ohio Automotive Group, Scioto Trail Animal Clinic, Sideline Pizza, the Portsmouth Tennis Club, Pro Pest Control, Rallies, Bob and Floyd's Tire Service, Jason Bentley, Oak Tree Construction, Osco Industries, Smith's Drugs, Gaddy's Pizza, The Goodwin Group, Wagner Rental, Mike's Auto Sales, Stoltz Pharmacy, Jason Conley, Headline Salon in Wheelersburg, All About Air, William Deaver, Wheelersburg Cinema, the UPS Store, the Battery Terminal, King's Daughters Medical Center, Ohio, Sunspot Tanning, Strieber Mortgage, Shawnee State University, the Salvation Army, the Portsmouth Public Library, Portsmouth Cinema 8, Infinity Home Health Care, Desco Federal Credit Union, the Krispy Kreme Donut Shop, and Barrett and Murphin Insurance. Thanks to all of our sponsors tonight, and thanks to you as well. I want to remind you that we will be on the scene next week for West at Portsmouth. Meanwhile, Ironton will host the Russell Red Devils, and the Pirates will host the Fairland Dragons. As for us, we'll see you a week from tonight from the Coliseum. And our final score here in the great traditional opening of the season game, it was the Wheelersburg Pirates 14, the Ironton Tigers 6. I'm Tony Lavender. Thanks for watching, everyone. So long.